Hope everyone is having a good little Thursday evening. Oh gosh. It looks like I turned the volume down when I put my phone on my tripod. Hopefully, oh my gosh, and now I just took a picture. Hopefully you all can hear me okay. No one's here yet, but that's usually how these streams work. I always notice that at first no one's here, and then when I watch it in replay, I get comments, I don't know. It just seems like there's definitely a delay between what you guys are seeing and what I'm currently doing by a few seconds. M. Harrison is here. That's exciting. Thanks for coming along. Are you new to my channel? I don't recognize your username. Oh, you are answered just in time. I just started watching your videos this morning. Cool to see you live. Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much. I try to do these every week. Hey, Steve's Lounge. Welcome, welcome. M. Harrison said, did you ever buy a compass? Oh my gosh, did you watch my New Hampshire video where I get lost? I actually never did buy a compass. But I never got lost in a kayak before again after that, so everything worked out okay. Let's see. Yuta Man is here and Marianne Mueller. Alrighty, welcome you all. How's everyone's evenings? What did you all get up to today? While we're having this live, I think it is a nice time to open this beer. I bought this beer for Christmas, Sierra Nevada Celebration Fresh Hop IPA, and I'm like, well, we're getting into the first week of January. I took all my Christmas decorations down the other day. I guess it's time to finish this beer. So, cheers, y'all. If you want to join me, you go right ahead. If you prefer water, soda, tea, whatever, that's cool too. Hey, Rod from Central Florida. How are ya? What have you been up to today? Cheers, y'all. I love the sound of a cracking beer, and I meant to do it on camera, but I forgot about that, so my bad. Here you can listen to the second part. So crisp, especially in this echoey room. Before I got my van and went on my road trip, you know, I couldn't really travel, so I was making a lot of informational videos, and they would all start with my little introduction, and then it would be the sound of a beer cracking and boom, logo on the screen. Rod says, I got root beer and nachos. Oh, yay. Tony, baby. Oh, good. Cheers to you, man. Glad you're here. I'm glad everybody is here. Happy New Year to you too, Jose. How's everyone's year so far? All the 5 days of it. Personally, my 2023 is going swimmingly, I'd say. Tiny Fairy, yay! Glad you're here. Let's see. So the title of this live was Adjusting to House Life. So let's see. I think I've been back in my hometown, I should say, for 2 or 3 weeks. If anyone's new here, I used to live in a converted minivan for 1.5 years, but now I am back living with family and preparing to go on the Appalachian Trail. Oh, hello from Indonesia! Thank you! Thanks for joining us. I'd love to go there someday. I've been watching all these videos about Indonesia and it just looks unreal. But yeah, adjusting back to being in a house, I'm going on a little trip in my van tomorrow or the next day. I haven't decided yet. It depends on how the weather is. It's been going back and forth which day is going to be warmer. So, I'm going to take a little overnight trip in my van soon, and I'm like, oh gosh, I'm not going to have warm water to wash dishes off in. I'm not going to have a lot of water. Like, whenever I wash dishes in my van, I just try to use as little as possible because I'm lazy and I don't feel like going to get more water. Oh, Liz, hello. I'm good. Thank you for asking. How are you tonight? But yeah, it's gonna be, I guess not hard because it won't be that tough, but I'm going back to take a little trip in my van and I won't have the amenities that I've been used to, like water and being warm and Wi-Fi, but it'll be all right. It'll be good to be back out there again. So what about you guys? Do you have any questions about what it was like to go from being in a van to being in a house? M. Harrison said, the YouTube algorithm is feeding me your videos out of order and they've been great, but I want to learn more about your time in Europe or Australia. Where are the videos about that? Well, I did not make videos back then. I only started at the end of 2020. I went to Europe in the first couple months of that year, and I went to Australia in 2018. I'm thinking of making story time videos about those, but I don't know if they'll really be interesting because it would be me just sitting and talking about something, and I took pictures, but I wouldn't have like a lovely pan of a city street or anything. Roger, BBB BBB Yip, as in Ypsilanti, Michigan. Squidly, going back home after vacationing in a camper feels weird. Yep, it sure is. Yeah, I wonder, I'm a little nervous about going out. And what if I've really, gotten soft, as they say, from being in a house for a few weeks. But I don't know, we shall see. Roger says, I think you would love New Zealand. Yep, that was actually, before the pandemic, my plan was to come home from Europe and start planning an adventure in New Zealand. Because in Australia, what I did was got a working holiday visa where you can be there for a longer time and also have a job. So it's not exactly like you live there and you're a local and you know everything, but you definitely get immersed in the culture and you could see so much more. So that's what I was planning on, but then of course there was a pandemic and then I kind of decided against that because I wanted to do the AT and now I'm going to be too old to get the working holiday visa in New Zealand. But I'll probably still go for vacay at some time. Les says, how's the treadmill work going? Well, I'll tell you what. I was trying to go on Wednesday, but then I ended up taking too much time doing other stuff. So I went for a walk around my neighborhood. Today I was supposed to go, but then I got busy. Not busy, but like I was hanging out at my parents' house for a little bit and then I didn't have enough time. So honestly, it's not going great, but I have plenty of time. I've definitely been walking outside, just not in large quantities because, it's just easier to walk for long periods of time at the gym so you can watch YouTube, answer your email, all that good stuff. Mr. Ryan says, yo, good evening. Hello from Phoenix. I just had dinner now. I'm enjoying your life. That was my impression of that smiley face. But thank you for joining me. Big fan of Phoenix myself. Glad to have you here. Big Apple Backpacking, welcome. Says, I enjoyed your videos of the John Muir Trail. What did you like and dislike about the JMT? Great question. what I liked was that I was thinking about the concept of trail magic the other day. It's on the AT or other long distance trails. People will like leave a drink or something for hikers, or just a spirit of goodwill of giving people stuff because they're hiking and then they're a really hard, doing something really hard. And on the JMT, there was sort of that in the form of when I ran out of fuel, people gave me some, and just other hikers supporting hikers, and all the people I met on the JMT. Those were definitely my favorite parts, but the hardest part was just the physical difficulty, lots of mountain passes and difficult terrains, and I had been sick like 2 weeks or 1 week before I got the permit, so I was used to just sitting on the couch all day and doing nothing, and then I got the permit, and then in 7 days I had to drive across California, sort out food, sort out how I was gonna get there, and there just wasn't enough time to prepare physically. So that was really rough. And it rained so much. That was tough. And like stuff kept happening to me, like I lost my water bottle and stuff like that. So yeah, it was tough. That was for sure. Good question. Tiny Fairy says, Maddie, can you take us around your town, like nature trips and stuff? Oh, that would be so fun. The van overnight trip I'm planning for tomorrow or the next day, and the video will be out on Wednesday, of course, but I'm planning to go somewhere in Kentucky, but that's not really my town and stuff. So yes, good idea. Rod says, you don't give yourself enough credit. You're a strong woman. Get out there and have some fun. Thank you. Appreciate that. Alex Hopkins K9 says, I've been really enjoying your videos. Oh, good. Super relaxing to watch at night. You got me pumped to build my van. Oh, good. Building a van is so much fun because there are seriously so many possibilities. I always think about, like, there's so many goals I had for my van. Like, it was just me, and I didn't want to like convert things, and I wanted electricity, but I didn't really care about having a sink. So yeah, builds are so fun. Hope you have a good time doing it as much as I did. Rob says, if you haven't checked out, oh yeah, I sure have. In fact, I gave her a shout out in my last video because I was watching her video while I was on the treadmill. Marianne says, have you ever hiked at Clifty Falls? I sure have. My dad took us camping there as kids, and I remember thinking it was so cool, so awesome, and there was like a beep, 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 and I think there was a light on something in the night too, and looking back now, I think adult me would be so annoyed and be like, oh, but kid me didn't think a thing of it. I remember watching the moon rise above some clouds and being like, nature, wow, so exciting. Roger says, the adventure I worried the most about was the lake and was on the, I can't read, the adventure I worried the most about you was the kayak on that lake, and you kind of got lost and was dark out. But since you posted video, I knew you were alright. Yes, I sure was. Yeah, I was actually one of the first people on this stream asked if I got a compass since that video, and I was like, no, I actually haven't. But luckily everything made it okay. That was definitely one of my mistakes I made on that trip. For anyone who doesn't know what I'm talking about, I was in New Hampshire going kayaking. The map wasn't really drawn to scale, and when I started to head back, I thought it was going to be a shorter distance than it really was, and it was getting dark. I could still see where I was going, but it was just like, darkness is coming. Probably not good that I stay out here super much longer. And in the distance, it all looked the same. You know, if you picture being in a really big lake, you can't really see landmarks from far away. But it all worked out. If you want to see that video, I posted it back in fall of 2021. It's from New Hampshire. New Hampshire. Someone whose name looks hard to read says, I can't wait to build a van and have those experiences alone. Yeah, it's good times. Tanya, an Indiana resident, says Clifty Falls is so nice. Yeah, I love it there too. Roger says, I mentioned getting a handheld GPS with maps after that video in the comments, if you remember, and gave you Model 1s. I vaguely remember that conversation. But I'll tell you what, I'm not going to be kayaking on a big lake anytime soon, so we don't have to worry about that. If anyone's wondering how I'm going to navigate on the AT, there is an app. It used to be called Gut Hook, and now it's called Far Out, but it's like a map you download to your phone, so you have to make sure to not break your phone and make sure you have battery, of course. But you can make sure you're going the right direction, make sure you're on the actual trail and all that, so hopefully I don't get too lost from any of those. Tanya agrees with me. Far Out is a great app. Seriously, they didn't have it on the Superior hiking trail in Minnesota. And then when I did Numapoyo, the John Muir Trail, it was like such a relief to have it again and like know where water sources were coming up and, you know, all this good stuff. It was so great. Alex, what am I drinking? A Christmassy beer by Sierra Nevada. Celebration Fresh Hop IPA. And it has a little snowy log cabin on it. Isn't that cute? I don't know about you all, but it's been pretty warm where I live. Tanya says they have it for the Sheltoe Trace now. Oh, cool. That's awesome. Allie Collins. Hi, welcome. Glad you're here. Roger said, LOL, Far Out used. Oh, yeah. Yeah, saying used in the 60s. I wonder if that's why they changed it. Because Far Out is in like far out away from cities on the trail, but also far out. Cool, you're having a good time while you're out hiking. Fun fact, in Australia, when like something happened and someone was really frustrated, they'd be like, far out. And so it's a bad thing in Australia, or a expression of frustration. Mr. Ryan said, what are your top musty places for 2023? Ooh, actually, I have a trip coming up soon. Before the AT, I'm going somewhere, but I want to keep it a surprise. But I'll tell you right now that it's coming, at least, so there's something between now and the AT, because I can't just make videos about the AT prep. I think that would get kind of old, so I'm going somewhere super exciting. I'm also, let's see, places on the AT I'm looking forward to. Definitely I forget what it's called now, but it's like a viewpoint where there's a rock jutting out and you can see the backgrounds and it just looks so cool. And obviously Mount Katahdin is gonna be pretty sick. And really, I'm excited to be in New England in the fall on Road Trip Brew SA, the road trip I did around the country with adventure and beer in every state. I was in New England in the fall and it was really cool. I'm just looking forward to everywhere. It's gonna be great. Rod said, any new power packs for charging your phone? Yes and no. I'm gonna use the same one I used on the Superior hiking trail, but I don't currently know where it is. I looked in my van, Could not find it at all. So now I'm gonna look at my parents' house, and I really hope it's there because I have no idea. Sorry, lost my place. So yeah, I'm gonna use a power pack that I already had. I don't remember the brand, but it's the kind with a paw print on it, and yeah. It is a little more heavy than I would like, but I want to film my hike and I want to have enough power for navigating, so yeah. Thank you guys for all these good questions. Time for a kiss says top 3 places you visited with the best smelling air quality. I have no idea. Because everywhere out in nature was good. I guess in the desert, there wasn't really much of a smell because it was very dry. I think the Pacific Northwest was really good. Especially when I could smell the beach. I didn't realize how close to the coast I was, and I could smell the beach, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. I feel like when I was watching the sunrise in the Grand Canyon, I remember the air being very fresh. I was, sunrise in South Carolina, and so many beaches I went to in Florida, like the salt air was just so nice to be by the ocean. I don't know about the top 3 best air quality smelling places. That is a good question, though. Thank you. You stumped me. Alex says, I was just in Louisville the other week for Christmas. It was crazy warm. Really? Because Christmas, it was actually pretty cold here. Obviously there's places that are colder, but I do not ever remember having a Christmas where it was snowy, besides maybe, I think I might have been in 3rd or 2nd grade. So, yeah, I thought it was pretty warm on Christmas. And Allie, yes, we are talking about Louisville. That's where I live. Oh, you already said that. Tiny Fairy says, how does your family feel about doing the AT? I'm really behind on these questions. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, we'll catch up. Tiny Fairy says, how does your family feel? I bet they're very proud. Thank you. I think they're nervous for me because they know what a big challenge it's going to be, but they understand why I want to do it and that I kind of need to do it, and I just feel a need to explore the world. And yeah, I think they are proud too. I don't know if you all get this, but like magazines from your high school or college, and then there's a section on like what the alumni are up to, and it's like, this person got married, this person has a kid, and I can't wait to write in and be like, I hiked the Appalachian Trail, to have to be featured in that section, Mr. Ryan says, surprise, okay, I understand. Oh, right, okay. Because I was saying in a few weeks I'm going on a trip. I want to check out Acadia National Park in Maine, maybe Hawaii. Cool. Roger said pictured rocks in Michigan. I have no idea. I think I remember it raining there, so it was probably very fresh and nice there after that. Hi from Charleston, South Carolina. You're doing great things. Well, thank you. How are you tonight, David? Welcome to the chat. Let's see. Legend of Arson says, house life for good now? No, never for good. Well, I don't know. Maybe I want to live in a house full time someday, but heading out on the Appalachian Trail later this year, and then I'm hoping to do some sort of international trip after that, and just keeping exploring the world, but house life is just for now. M. Harrison says, do you have a cell phone booster in your van? I sure do. It's called High Boost. I get a discount code if anyone buys it. If you're interested in buying it, I have a discount code you could use, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, it's pretty good. I was definitely so glad to have it, especially like when I was in the Southwest towards the end of the trip. I remember just being like, man, this service is so good right now. And sometimes it's weird because sometimes I try it without the cell phone booster plugged in and with the cell booster plugged in, and sometimes without is actually better, but I'm like, well, at least I have the option now. And sometimes when it is better, I have that option. I'm doing good, David. Finding True says hi from Atlanta. I enjoy Eve. I think you meant I don't know what you meant with that, but alright, I'm glad you enjoy something, whatever it is. Hi, Erica from Savannah, Georgia. Did you see the Savannah part in my documentary? Because I didn't make a video there. I just stopped by there and thought it really looked cool. But yeah, I love like when you're driving through those old houses and there's like live oak trees in the middle of the street. Beautiful place. Tiny Fairy says, as a mother, I understand the being nervous, but you are a tough cookie. Thank you. You're so sweet. Legend of Arson said, where are you living at now? Somewhere on the road. Nope, I'm staying with family as because it's winter, it's really hard to find a place if you live in a van that's not really well insulated and doesn't have its own heat. It's really hard to find a place that's comfortable. You could go to Florida or someplace in Southern California. When I was in Arizona, it was even getting cold. And I was like, cold in Arizona? What is this? Like Southern Arizona too. It would get like 30 degrees at night sometimes. But anyway, between van life and Appalachian Trail, that's why I'm in a house just for now. Just for now. David says, I may be moving into my car this summer to escape the high rent inflation. Well, I definitely don't blame you. I know rent is crazy out there, and so far I don't think I've ever, well, I know for a fact I've never lived in a place where I had to pay rent. So I definitely think it's not for everyone, but if you can stand to live in a car, I think it is a good option, at least for a little bit, because rent is really high, and living in a car is not that bad, especially if you use apps like iOverlander or the internet to like show you the hacks. All that good stuff. Alex Hopkins say you should do South Africa to Egypt in an overlanding van. It is #1 on my list. That would be awesome. I definitely want to go to South Africa one day. Definitely want to go to Egypt one day. However, because in the African continent there's so many different countries and like so many different languages, so many different beliefs and cultures, and I think that would be a very adventurous trip. I'm not sure if I would want to do it alone. It would be nice to find a group of people to do it with, but I definitely would love to see those places. They have these trees in South Africa. I think they're called baobab or something like that, and they just look like the coolest thing. I think all trees are cool though. Rod says, any new sponsor deals? Well, if you saw my last video, I told people about these cool water bottles, and the video I'm gonna film tomorrow when I go on a little overnight trip in my van. I got this cool new foldable saw that I get to cut some firewood with. Look how like shiny and beautiful it is. So clean. And I'm sure the first time I use it to cut wood. It will not be that shiny anymore. But it's very fancy. And I'm excited to tell y'all about it. Finding True says, sorry, I'm not sure what happened to my text, but enjoy all your videos. Oh, good. I camp at Woods Gap, or Woody's Gap in North Georgia. Oh, very cool. Clint says, good evening from East Texas. Good evening back to you, Clint. Roger says California would be terrible right now because of the rain they've been getting. Oh, I didn't hear about that. That's too bad. Time for a Kiss says, do many people ask you questions in real life during your travel? Do they ever ask you to join you or you to join them? Let's see, to answer your first question, do many people ask me questions in real life? Yeah, it's actually really cool because people, especially in the East, I think people came up and asked about my van when I was being kind of obvious, you know, had my trunk open, had my door open. People will come up and be like, they'd be really nice about it too. Like, hey, do you mind if I have a look? I was worried about people like coming and kind of creeping me out. But, yeah, people do come up and ask me questions, and it's really nice because I get to show off. But asking about people joining me or me joining them, well, because I had a really big mission at first, going to all the states, I didn't ask to join people, and I think people have asked to join me, but they said it in a way that's like, I could take it seriously if I wanted to, or I could take it as a joke as I wanted to, and I really enjoyed being by myself and being on my own time schedule, so I took it as a joke, and I was like, you can come with me virtually in my videos. But yeah. And then after that big trip, I was working on my documentary pretty much the whole time, and then I had to go home for Christmas, so didn't really get a chance to join anyone. I wanted to though, but it never really worked out. Just a busy bee. Alex corrected me on the pronunciation of that tree. And Tiny Fairy says, Maddie, you have inspired me. I'm planning my first solo camping trip next summer. Not gonna lie, I'm excited but kind of nervous. Aw, that's so exciting for you. I totally get the feeling of being nervous and excited at the same time. Aw, that's so exciting for you. What kind of car do you have? And are you, I guess, if it's just a little, you said it was a trip, not full-time moving in. So I guess you're doing just a very, like, put the seats down, put a mattress. That's so exciting. Hope you have so much fun with that. You'll have to tell me how it goes. Roger says, have you thought of doing a trip through the Canadian Rockies in the summertime to fall to get a chance to see the Northern Lights? Oh, yes, I definitely want to see the Northern Lights so bad. When I was in Europe, like every time I was in Norway or Sweden or anywhere north, you know, I'd always be like, oh gosh, maybe tonight's the night I'm going to see them. And I never did. So I really hope I see the Northern Lights at some point. The Canadian Rockies also look super cool. I've always wanted to go to Banff, and it just looks amazing. Hi, Yelnats. Welcome, welcome. Alex says, I work in South Africa. It's the most beautiful place ever. Yeah, it's definitely not something you'd want to do alone. There are some things to look out for in Africa, but it's so worth it. That's awesome. I really want to go. There's just so many animals and so many, like, natural phenomenons. And I really like the people's accents from there. Alex says, you should look at Kruger National Park for an adventure for your channel. It's the size of Israel. Oh my gosh. And you can move around it freely. No way it's the size of Israel. I guess I haven't looked at a map that recently, but I'm like, wow. You kind of, when countries aren't next to each other on the map, you forget how they are, like, in relation to each other. Wow, how cool is that? Yeah, I would love to go someday. So many cool things to do. Rod says, have you thought about doing a trip across Canada? I have, actually. Yeah. I think some parts are really isolated, just what I hear. I saw a TikTok recently that was really interesting. You know the part of the U.S., it's the 49th parallel on terms of latitude. It's the top of the country, 50%. So, I mean, the top of, you know, the straight line on top of the United States. If you pretended that straight line went out further, all the way towards like Maine and stuff, then 50% of Canadians live below that line. Isn't that crazy? I wonder if it's because above that winters get really, really rough. And 25% of Canadians live in the area between like Michigan and New York. And like Ohio's down here. They live in that area right there. That's crazy. Tiny Fairy says, I have a Toyota RAV4. Oh, cool. I've gotten the memory mattress in the back and a few cooking stuff. Oh, that's so exciting. You're going to have the best time, I bet. Good for you. Roger says, in Kruger National Park, you have to be really aware of animals crashing into your vehicle. Yeah. I think on that trip, I would want to go with a guided service. I met someone from South Africa, and he said, like, when there's, like, just trees, you have to be careful walking under them because a snake will come out. And I was like, oh, but that snake was just like, checking you out. Maybe he thought you were a prey, and he just wanted to see what you were, but he'll leave you alone when he figures out you're human. And he was like, not really. So, yeah. Lots of interesting animals. Oh, but wouldn't that be so cool to see a lion or a giraffe in real life? Like, of course you could go to a zoo and see them in real life, but like, out in nature, doing their thing. Dave Karen says, read any good books lately? The best book I read lately was... Someone asked me this last live too, and I never remember the name of the book. It's called This Tender Land. I don't know who it's by. It's by a man. It's set in the 1930s, I think, in Minnesota. It's a really good read if anyone's interested. Jose says the population of Canada is about the same size as the population of California state. I believe it. That's a fun fact. Tony Baby says, I would cry to see a lion or giraffe in real life. Don't cry. David says, lions and tigers and bears, oh my. Alex says, OMG, you'd love it. Whenever I'm over there, I'm always blown away by how much life there is in all the reserves and parks, despite it being how dry it is. Oh, that's cool. I never thought about how dry it would be. Cool. Plus, I've seen really pretty pictures of the coast there. Alex says, it makes you realize how much there should probably be here. Are you talking about... We've been talking about animals, and we've also been talking about the population of Canada. I think you're talking about animals, though. How much animals there should probably be here. Yeah. They are definitely... They were... really into hunting back in the day. Oh, yeah, animals. Okay, good. I was reading a book that was written in the 60s about a famous author that lived in a, what we would call now, a truck camper, except I don't think there was such thing back then. It was just a camper built into a truck. Joker says, don't feed the human animals. CL says, cheers! Oh, welcome to the chat, bud. Glad you're here. But Rod says, in Central Florida, we have a big cat rescue. I think I've heard of that, actually. Was that talked about in a Netflix documentary? Rod says, I took my daughter, and you cannot believe how big the tigers and lions are. Oh, I bet. Cool. Mr. Ryan says, if you could make your own brand of beer, what would you call it? That is a great question. So, I don't think there's probably many Taylor Swift fans in the chat right now, but there is a song of hers that came out recently called Lavender Haze, and I've been thinking, what if there was a Lavender Hazy IPA? Like, just think how cool would that be, and you could even make it taste like lavender. I don't know if that would be good in IPA, now that I say that now, but any breweries out there thinking about it? Let me know if you want to use my idea. I'd be happy to tell you all about it. Jorge says, hey bro, have you seen the Sabbatical YouTube channel? No, not really. That sounds interesting. Sabbatical. I'll look it up. Roger said, I have not done much in my life, but I did swim, snorkel with dolphins and sharks. Oh, in Bora Bora, Tahiti. That is crazy, dude. Oh my goodness. When I was in Australia, I went snorkeling and scuba diving, and there were reef sharks, Maddie IPA, that would work pretty good too. But the reef sharks are like not that big. Definitely smaller than a person, not too big to be intimidating, but they definitely swim like a shark and look like a shark, so they're kind of freaky to see. But then it's also cool because you're like, I swam with sharks. Sienna IPA. Oh my gosh. Or you guys. Sierra. What if there was a Sienna Nevada IPA? Oh my gosh. I should call these guys up. Actually, I emailed them to see if they would want to work with me when I was out in California, and they didn't answer, so... Miss Sunshine, hi! No, Alex, I know you were going for my van, but then I was like, my van plus a really cool mountain range. Yeah, I know what you meant. Roger said the big cat rescue is in Punta Gorda, Florida, called Octagon Wildlife Sanctuary. Okay, I don't think the one I knew of was just called Big Cat Rescue, I think, so okay. Good to know. Octagon Wildlife Sanctuary, been there 5 times since my dad, before he died, lived in Punta Gorda. Oh, very cool. That's awesome. Sounds like a nice place. David said, about the same size of a sand shark. Yes, blacktip reef shark. Yeah, not dangerous, but cool to swim with. I think I would be scared of swimming with dolphins, honestly, because they're so big and... yeah. CL says, land shark. Sienna Medea. Perfect. The name of my van, the name of me, the name of a mountain range. What more could you ask for? Wouldn't that be cool though? On the can there would have to be one of the pictures I took on my big Numapoyo hike. Man, those mountains were so cool. Roger said Punta Gorda also has the Babcock Ranch, which is a cool tour. Nice. That sounds like fun. There's just so much to do in the world. Alex says, big cats are the best. We used to hear lions from our camps at night, and the base is unreal if they're close enough. Oh my goodness. That sounds like the craziest experience. David said, do you do any photography on the road? Not as much as I want to, honestly, just because I'm always filming. I guess I say not as much as I want to, but now that I say that, I take a lot of videos, which I feel like are pretty similar, you know, because I'm not just being like, hi, it's a vlog. I'm like really wanting to show as much as a photographer would put into the thought and the planning and the artistic process behind a photograph. That's what I think I'm trying to put into my videos. And so, yeah, I do take a lot of videos that I try to really capture the moment on. I've been watching a lot of videos about lenses to use and like composition, that's the word for it, in a shot. So right now, for example, I'm in the center of the frame in my eyes, if there were lines dividing the screen into thirds this way, my eyes would be on this line. It sounds kind of weird to say it without being able to draw on the screen, but yeah. Oh, Khadijah! Hi, welcome! How you doing tonight? Hope you're well. Roger said, just be careful around big cat rescues, around the male tigers, because they will go number one on you. Oh my gosh! I have seen it in the zoos and the big cat rescues. Oh my goodness. Can you imagine? Okay, everyone in the chat, would you be mad if a tiger peed on you? Answer yes or no. I'll wait for your responses. In the meantime, do you ever plan on going back to van life? If so, would you go for something bigger like a transit next time? My next video, I'm going to take a little, hey, painfully average, what was I about to say? The video I'm filming tomorrow or the next day, it's going to be out next Wednesday. I'm going on a little overnight trip in my van, and I'm going to talk about like the future of me and van life. But spoiler alert for you guys, because you're watching my live, so you get the insider knowledge. I don't really know. It all depends on what I'm thinking after the trip. Definitely my van, I worked so hard on it, I put so much money into it, and I'm very like emotionally attached to it, so I don't want to get rid of it. But there's also like if I'm gonna do international travel, I don't really need it, and just like so many factors going on. Khadijah would not be that mad. Roger would be. Oh, Joker says I have to do number one back on them. Oh my gosh. I wonder how they would react. Roger said no because it smells like popcorn. Oh my gosh. That's a crazy fun fact. That's so cool. David said no, it is better than being bitten by one. Khadijah said I would feel too shocked to feel anything. Yeah, that's probably how I would be too. More like, oh my gosh, what is this? And like, I would be kind of mad and like, hey, not once in a lifetime experience, but just like, that doesn't happen to you every day. Because acting with the wild animals. A bird has pooped on me before. How bad could more animal bodily fluids be? Scott says, how many miles on the van? No idea. Because I use my odometer to keep track of how many miles I'm using every time I fill up on gas. So I don't know. I think it's like 100,000 something. Something. Are you getting some maintenance done on the brake? Not really, because, actually yes, because I need a headlight repaired. But I'm not doing any big maintenance because, like, it's running. There's definitely, like, damages on how it looks. But I think, like, all the safety features, how it runs, everything like that is good. Oh, Roger says, Rod, it is awful smelling. It does not smell like popcorn. Tiger urine. Roger says, Maddie, a friend of mine at the Detroit Zoo got number one on it, and trust me, the smell is putrid. Some people would say popcorn smells bad too, because it's such a powerful smell, you know, smells up the whole house when you make it. I like it. But after this conversation, I might not, because I would think of tiger pee. Alrighty, you all. We've been chatting for 50 whole minutes so far. Let's do 10 more minutes, and then we'll call it a night. For the rest of the night, I'll probably... I don't know. I always have a to-do list of stuff to do, but I never do it. Imagine cat urine times 100. I can tell you I do not like the smell of cat pee, so I bet that is awful. Maybe on my international travels, I'll get to see a tiger in real life sometime and hang out with them. I think they're my my favorite, like, scary animal. My favorite animal in general is a seahorse, but tigers are so cool too. They look awesome. They're very powerful, but also majestic and beautiful. So cool. What are y'all's favorite animals? Or, like, do you have, like, a top 2, a top 3? I'm a seahorse girl, and then I like tigers. Like I said, I really am big on orcas too. I think they look awesome. Painfully Average says, I just watched Mike Tyson on Rogan's show. He said his tigers peed on him and he had to have the whole house disinfected. Ooh, that sounds gross. Alex like raccoons and giraffes. Very cool. I just said my all-time favorite animal is a mountain lion / cougar. Oh gosh, I'm actually so scared of those, especially when I'm in California. I guess they live other places than California, but I'm always just like, they're so scary because they eat people. But they are very beautiful and majestic. Joker says orcas are number 1. Oh, very cool. Orca is plural, not orcas. And I hear they're going away from the name killer whale. They don't want people to call them killer whales anymore because that sounds too scary and kind of misleading, I guess. Khadijah says birds with wild wingspans, eagles and hawks. Oh yes, those are so cool. When I was in Lake Tahoe, I saw a bald eagle in real life, and I was like, wow, this is awesome. Miss Sunshine likes gorillas and rhino. Very cool. Not rhino, but this made me think of something. Did you all know hippos are super dangerous? They're crazy. I saw a video of them chasing a boat, and I was like, oh my gosh, who would know? And they're so cute, too. They're like bears. How can you be that cute but that dangerous? Kiwi says, are you doing the AT all in one go, or are you going to take breaks? Well, it depends how you look at it. I'm going to take breaks of 1 or maybe 2 days if I really need, but mostly all in one go. So not section hiking, but through hiking. Oh yeah, I got what you meant, Khadijah. And Painfully Average says, manta rays are my fave. Oh yes, they are so cool. They're big too, aren't they? This was also when I was living in Australia. I lived on an island for 2 months. And these are stingrays, not manta rays, but I would walk on the beach in the morning and see so many stingrays. They're so cool. They look so magical when they swim. I almost said fly. They look like they're flying though. Roger said, weird how they call them killer whales when there are 0 attacks on humans documented. Yeah, very true. David Cameron says, what has been the best part of your week so far? That's a good question. Maybe it's the fact that my video last night is doing pretty good. It seems like a lot of people are interested in it. Even though a lot of people are like, you tried to walk 8 miles, that's impossible, what were you thinking? That's the voice I imagine them saying it in. But it is getting a lot of people to watch it, and I'm like, yay. Because really, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter that much how popular my videos get, but it is kind of rewarding to work really hard on something and then the hard work pays off. So that's always something cool. Roger said, yes, hippos are the most dangerous animals in Africa. Joker agrees, hippos are the most deadly wild animals in the world. It's because they're very territorial. I hear it. And they can swim really fast and run really fast. And they don't look like it. They look like elephants. I guess I don't know how fast elephants would be, but it's crazy. Khadijah says, will you end up having to fly back once you get to the end? Or will you do a full circle? Yes, I will fly down to Georgia, hike all the way up to Maine, and then fly back to Kentucky. Unless I find another way. I've heard of people like doing road trips back to wherever they came from after the AT, so that sounds pretty nice. I haven't thought that far ahead. But yeah. Newly says, hello, just wanted to say hi, I'm a big fan. Oh, it doesn't say the word hi in there. Just wanted to say I'm a big fan. Well, hi, glad you're here, welcome. That's really flattering of you to say. Thank you so much. I'm really glad you're here and you're a part of my channel and part of my live chat tonight. Joker says, have you thought about trying stand-up? Oh my gosh, that's so cool that you say that. Honestly, when I was a kiddo, I had so many career ambitions, and I did think of being a stand-up comedian briefly, but then I was like, I don't know, because it seems like when you're in front of a crowd trying to make them laugh, it's the hardest thing in the world. Like, I just like being silly in normal conversation. But thank you so much. I'm glad you think that. Roger said, elephants can run 25 miles per hour. Okay, well, I was wrong about them being slow. That makes sense, though, because they're so tall. They got big legs. Bonnie says, I thought of you in the fall when I hiked part of the SHG in Jay Cook State Park. Oh, that's so cool. I remember Jay Cook. That's down by Duluth, isn't it? Yeah, I hear that fall is the best time on that trail. Because there aren't any mosquitoes and there's really pretty fall colors. So that must have been beautiful. Sounds like a nice time. Tiny Fairy says, what's your biggest fear in life? Oh, Tiny Fairy, you're asking the real questions. I don't really know. I guess getting kidnapped, in all honesty, because I do spend a lot of time by myself, but I think you have a pretty high chance of, I don't know, whether you live alone or whether you are traveling or like you live in one place, like something bad could always happen to you, you know, so yeah. But I have a lot of fears too, you know. There's so much that could go wrong. Kiwi Cakeful says, it would be probably feel real nice to have your own van on the other end waiting for you. Oh, you're saying I should take my van up to Maine? I don't know, because it's definitely a solo travel vehicle, and I'm hoping I'll meet people at the end. I hope I get done when it's not too cold, because I would really like to hang out in the New England area longer. Oh, and I could go back to my favorite place in Rhode Island. If you all remember a place where I had parked my van next to the ocean and I saw a seal the next morning. Oh, that was such a good place. Love New England. Roger said, did you know a grizzly bear can outrun a horse 50 to 100 yards and keep it up for a very long distance? I did not know that. That is terrifying, though. Grizzly bears are so scary. And they go after humans, too. Tony Baby said, did you ever sing or do anything silly in your van alone? I dance a lot. Like, one time in Tennessee, I was, like, washing the dishes and listening to music. I had just like finished cooking and I had cell service, so I was listening to Spotify and I was kind of jamming to myself, and I was like, there is a park where people can see me and there is a road and I am just out here la 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 washing my dishes. You know, that's like the joy of being alone. You could just do whatever you want. Raz said, what would be your most perfect trip in the world? Oh my goodness, I don't know. I don't know, because there's so many means of traveling, you know, like a train journey, a road trip, a boat journey, hiking, you know, itself. That is pretty impressive. And there's so many good places to go. Anywhere has something good about it, really. Yeah, I don't know. That is an impossible question, Rob, but I appreciate you asking. Marianne says, I like orcas too. Oh, we learned it's orca, plural. But, oh, sorry, I just kicked my tripod. Frogs are relaxing to listen to at night. They sure are. So peaceful. Great favorite animals. Roger said, never try to run away from a grizzly. They look at you as prey. If you do, and no human can outrun them. Okay. Noted. I have to... There's so many, like, different procedures to do when you see a wild animal. Oh, I said we were going to stop when we were an hour in, but let's just keep chatting for a little longer. What was I about to say? There's so many different things to do when you see certain wild animals. Like, some of them do not look them in the eye. They see that as a threat. Some of them do look them in the eye, so they know you know that you see them. Yeah. It's scary. What I'm going to make sure to do before the AT is look up, let's see. I think it's just a grizzly bear. A black bear that you need to look out for. I know... Mountain lions are probably everywhere, but I don't think they're very common on the AT. I know snakes are common, and ticks, too, if you count those as animals, but yeah. Time for a Kiss says, top 3 places with best fall colors, Kentucky. I say that just because I'm biased. I guess Louisville, my hometown, the city, not really, because... You know, there's like buildings and concrete everywhere, but the Red River Gorge in the fall, that's beautiful. If I could say New England as my place, and that one trail I went to in, let's see, the Grand Tetons, where it was like yellow aspens, red bushes, green trees, blue water, everything was like so beautiful and bright. Oh, that was so cool. I'm glad I got there. David says, you are important and worthy of everything good in the world. Oh, thank you. How nice to say. Khadijah says, New England has the best falls. Yeah, it's great. I was so lucky to go in the past. Roger said, also never honk your horn at a moose. They will look at it as a challenge and will charge and mess up your vehicle. Oh my gosh, that's so scary. Especially because, like, with most animals, you know, you would think they would hear a loud noise and be like, oh, I should avoid this loud noise. So if you didn't know that, that could be really dangerous. Well, glad all of us in the chat know now. David said, I'm from Boston and don't miss the snow. Let's see, I forgot. Did you say you were in Florida now? Or Texas, maybe? Yeah, I guess the thing about New England is that as pretty as the falls are, I guess you do have a lot of snow up there, and that would be complicated. Hard to handle. Oh, Charleston, South Carolina. That's right. I really liked it there. If you haven't seen my videos from when I went to South Carolina, I have 2 of them, and that was actually one of my favorite states. Very pretty. Well, this has been really fun, talking about dangerous animals and everything. We've had a good conversation on this chat. We started talking about house life, at least I did, and I just love how these conversations can just go anywhere. Always entertaining. Time for a Kiss says, what movie, TV show, YouTube channel, or book inspires you to travel? Honestly, I wonder if it was Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants that made me want to travel the most. Because, let's see, that came out before I was in high school. I was probably in middle school, or even like late elementary school. And I was like, oh my gosh, the world is such a wide place. There's so many cool things out there. Yeah, I read that really little. Not little. But teenage. I don't know. What's everyone else's movie, TV show, YouTube channel, or book that inspires you to travel? Mamma Mia 2 was a good one, where she says, "The world is wide, and I want to make some memories." Favorite Disney Channel movie? Mine is Mary Poppins Return. Oh, it didn't say Disney Channel, just Disney movie. Oh, if we can do live action movies, definitely The Parent Trap. So influential in my life. Loved it so much as a kid and now. That's a good one. Roger says if you get a chance to back up to way up to upper state, oh my gosh, I can't read. If you ever get back up to upstate New York, you should check out Osbo Chasm. I think that sounds familiar. I wonder if I've been there or have I just heard of it. It is the oldest tourist park in America. My grandfather from Plattsburgh, New York, used to be a manager there. I wonder if I've heard of that. Maybe we've talked about it before, actually, because that's sounding familiar. Roger or Alex says Medicine Man. David says Netflix, Tubi, and Amazon. Very cool. Tony Baby says Terminator 2. Is that your favorite Disney movie? Is that what question you were answering? So what's everyone up to for the rest of the evening? Time for a Kiss says, would you ever do couch surfing to add to your adventures? Couch surfing is when you stay in someone's house for free. Yeah, and there's even an app called Couch Surfing. I was hoping to, well, I didn't really get that far on plans for it because I looked it up and you have to you have to host someone on the app before people will host you, because they don't want people that like just joined and they're just kind of like taking advantage. They want it to be someone from part of the community, you know? So where was I going with this? Oh yeah, couch surfing. So I don't know. I think I would like to know the person whose house I would be staying at, and it would help if like there were multiple people there, or another solo woman traveler that like would understand that I would be kind of leery about it. But yeah, I think couch surfing could be really cool if it was in the right situation. Roger said my all-time favorite Disney movie is Old Yeller. Very cool. Cameron says watching basketball. Nice. Khadijah, watching basketball is your favorite movie. Khadijah says I met a cool lady who had tattoos of her actual passport stamps along with other visuals to remind her of where she travels. It was the best sleeve I've ever seen. Khadijah says you can stay with me if you want. Okay. Y'all, I know Khadijah in real life, so thank you for that offer. I would be so happy to see you and your family again. Anyone in the chat ever tried couch surfing before? Sounds like you could meet some really interesting people that way. Oh, David Cameron, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. But I saw watching basketball, I thought you were saying that's your favorite movie, but then I remember, you're right, I did say, what are you all doing tonight? You're watching basketball, okay. Wouldn't that be so funny if you asked someone their favorite movie and they said watching basketball? Or a specific game. Khadijah said sorry, I'm laughing so hard. Okay. laughing about how hard I'm laughing. Oh, okay. Pull it together, Maddie. Oh my gosh. Dave Cameron put a bunch of basketball emojis. Oh, too funny. Oh. Okay. Regain composure. Khadijah says she couch surfed when in California when I was younger, trying to reach my contest goals. It was a great experience. I was scared at first. Yeah, sounds really, a nerve-wracking experience to get into. I bet that was nerve-wracking at first. Time for kisses. I'm a couch surfing host. Oh, cool. I have people stay at my vacation house. They get the whole house to themselves. And they don't have to pay for it. That is so generous of you. That's amazing. Roger said, never did couch surfing, but many times in my younger years had to crash on couches from drinking too many beers. Hey man, we've all been there. That's funny. Couch surfing in your own town. Miss Sunshine says, I thought about opening my home to female van lifers. I was traveling through Texas. Oh, that's a great idea. I'm sure they'd really appreciate that. Off-Grid Adventure said, just stopping by to say hi. Hey, glad you're here. Thanks for saying hello. Tony Baby says, I have did WOOF. If anyone doesn't know, that stands for Worldwide Organization of Organic Farming. And that, like, you make an account and then you find farms to work on and then you get to stay there. This is like, before I went to Australia, I was just looking into my options for living abroad temporarily, and I thought about woofing in New Zealand. So I would, work on people's farms and get to stay there, but then I would have to figure out how to get to the next farm, and it was only for a few days at a time. That's how they did it on the woofing website I found for New Zealand, but I bet it's a lot of different things. So yeah. Scott Robinson says video channels about Ghost Town, Cerro Gordo are great watches. Ooh, that sounds interesting. Did you see the video where I went to a ghost town? It was in Utah. I forget the name of it now, but I don't know. Personally, I was like, this is just kind of like abandoned structures. Well, no, it was creepy when I went in that, wooden place. The place that's in the thumbnail picture, where it's not wooden, but, stone. It used to be a general store, but, the steps had rotted, so you would walk in through what would be the cellar. It was interesting. How does a couch stay afloat in the water? Oh, good question. If you're surfing on it, I don't know. Khadijah said the guy was an actor and we are Facebook friends to this day. Oh, man, how cool was that? That had to be a great adventure. Actor guy and Khadijah making it couch surfing together. Ty X says that sounds cool. Hey man or person, I don't know what you are, but welcome to the chat. Time for a Kiss says top 3 places with the best beer. For me, Vermont, New Hampshire, Oregon, Colorado. That is 4, not 3. So it's hard to say because even though I've been a lot of places, I haven't tried all the beer yet there. So in Connecticut, normally I would ask, what beer do you think represents this state the most? But when I was in Connecticut, before I could do that, the bartender was like, okay, what kind of beer do you like? And I was like, well, I usually like sours. And he was like, I got the perfect one for you. So And a lot of times I would be like at a gas station and there would be like a choice of 3 craft beers. So didn't have a wide selection or anyone to really ask. So I don't know. It seemed like there was a lot of options in Maine and that place in North Carolina. What was that called? Charlottesville, maybe? But the place that's by Pisgah National Forest. And there was a bar built inside a gas station. That place was really cool. Trying to think of a third. I would say Louisville, Kentucky, my home. There's so many breweries. You know, West 6, Country Boy. Actually, I think that's not in Louisville. It's in Kentucky though. But like Mile Wide, Gravely, Monic. Well, that might actually just be a bar. I don't know if they brew beer. But there's so many good beer places in Louisville. Love it, love it, love it. Roger asked, Khadijah had a cousin that used to be a star on some soap opera. He played a young doctor, but I never met him. Ah, that's cool. Time for Kiss said, do you like wine? What about visiting wineries and doing a tasting? I've been to many across the U.S. Yeah, I like wine sometimes, but when I do tastings, I can't really tell much of a difference between them just because, like, I haven't had it very much, so to me it just tastes like red or white, you know, not that much of a difference. I do like being in wineries though. They're very pretty. Wide open spaces and the rows look cool. Eric says, what is your go-to cheap, easy meal on the road? Oh, let me tell ya, ramen. Ramen for days. Sometimes I put peas in it to get some vegetables. Some dose of, well, I was about to be like, vitamin blah blah blah, but then I was like, wait, I don't know what vitamin or mineral peas are known for. But good question. The best places for beer are the free ones. Oh, good point. Khadijah says you should go Google him and try to couch surf. Oh, about the thing before, about the opera star? That'd be fun. Oh gosh. And David said, nice. I'm not sure what you're referring to, but glad you're glad. Off-Grid Adventure said, have you toured the Bourbon Trail? It's a little stronger than beer. Oh, for sure, but at least it's one journey through it. Yeah. I haven't done the whole Bourbon Trail. I've done a few stops along it though. One place in downtown Louisville, and I think I've been to another one out by where I went to college. But yeah, the distilleries they have out there in rural Kentucky, those are really cool too. And the tours are so like just well done, you know? The tour guides really care about what they're talking about and they make it interesting. Yeah, Bourbon Trail, good time. I hope I get to do more someday. Roger said Maddie needs a Ninu beer. Tahitian beer. Oh, good. Did you have that in Bora Bora? That sounds so cool. I really am hoping to do international travel after the AT, and I miss, like, before the pandemic, I didn't really try many craft beers, so now that I know what I like, I'm excited to explore the world and drink more beer. Ty says, did your parents watch your YouTube videos? Yes, I am really lucky that my parents are like some of my biggest fans and they watch every one and then we talk about them. So yeah, I actually am kicking myself because I meant to tell them I was going live tonight, but I forgot to. They usually come to my lives too. David said, how would your friends describe you in one word? Honestly, I have no idea. And it would really depend on the group of friends too. Because I have the friends I grew up with. I know people from different adventures in life. I don't know. Maybe they would say, I can't really think of a word for it, but dreaming big, or always dreaming big dreaming, idealistic maybe, but I always have a lot of ideas, and I feel like every time I see people and I'm catching up with them, they're like, oh, what are you doing? What are you doing next? And I'm like, first I'm going here and I'm gonna do this. I'm also thinking about doing this next after that, and just, I don't know. I feel like I'm always up to something. More than one word, but I think that's how people see me a lot of the time. Roger said yes, and Tahiti's actually makes it, and it is their own brand. You can even order them online. Aw, nice. Kyle says, I miss living in the Southeast. Was that because of our bourbon discussion? There is some downsides to it, but there's some nice parts too. Zay Shay says, what is your job occupation? Right now I am making money from YouTube and YouTube related things. Before that I worked DoorDash. I also worked in the summer camp industry for a really long time. I've worked in an office before. I have been a housekeeper, a dishwasher, outdoor education stuff. I ran activities at a resort. I've done a lot of different stuff. But right now, YouTube. To answer the question of how my friends would describe me, Khadijah said quirky. Or so cool. Thank you. And Zay's from Louisville too. Oh yay, how exciting. That's awesome. James, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Cheers. Thank you. Let's see. Alex says, I am crazy into wine, and your Beer and Beautiful Places channel made me want to do similar things visiting vineyards. Oh, that's so cool. Aw, I'm so glad I could give you a good idea. Because Jesus said honest. Thank you. I really try to be. And I try to have that in my... Oh, just got your email, Roger. But I try to be honest in real life and in my videos too. So I'm really glad you see that in me. David said, what are your hardest challenges you face while on the road? I don't know, man. I think, like, there's always some sort of challenge I'm doing. Either, not challenge, but like some emotional thing inside of me. Like, I'm getting burnt out of being on the road, or like it's really cold, or it's really hot and I'm having allergies. So always some sort of physical challenge. And then it seems like worrying about money was a big challenge for a lot of it too, especially like my van broke down, and just so, not broke down, but like I had lights on that had to get fixed. And let's see. So challenges within my own mind, challenges with my van, and oh yeah, I said financial challenges, and maybe physical health too, because I did, like, I don't know, I got poison ivy and my allergic reaction with my eyes being really itchy, and yeah, seemed like it was always something, but it was worth it. James says, this girl Maddie's entertaining. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Time for a Kiss says, most memorable encounter you had with a person you met in your travels. I met some good people on the JMT. I met a lot of people like in parking lots. Just like, I mean, asking about my van and stuff. When it was a park or something and I had my doors open. I don't know. I don't think I met enough people to answer that. I didn't spend enough time with people. I guess when I was in Florida, I was hanging out in a Cracker Barrel parking lot for like a few days in a row, and one of my neighbors in the parking lot, because it was Florida and it was winter, so a bunch of people were there, and my neighbor was there for a long time. I was there for a long time, so eventually we got to talking, and he might have been in his 60s or 70s, needed a cane to walk, so we were definitely like in different stages of our lives, but he was just so friendly, and he gave me some books to read that he was trying to get rid of, and he was like, I have way too much canned food, like cans. It was like Amy's Organic, if you know those meals. They're really good, like soups and stuff. They come in a can. They're organic, so they're kind of nice, but he was like, I have way too much food. Can I give you some of them? And in the back of my head, like, you always got to think, like, could this be nefarious? So, like, I took it, but I didn't eat it right away, of course. But just that interaction. Oh, Khadijah, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Cheers. But anyway, that guy, his name was Denny. And a lot of times when people ask me, like, what do I do? Like, my channel comes up, but he was like, oh, I don't know how to work YouTube. So, like, you just go on. Actually, come to think of it, there's no way he would be 60 years old. He's probably like 70 or 80. But we'll probably never see each other again, but that was a really cool encounter. Oh, sorry, you guys. I'm missing so many, what's it called? So many, you're saying things, and it's taking me a really long time to answer them. My bad. Raja said, just emailed you with the Hi Nano Beer website. Oh, very cool. Thank you. Miss Sunshine says, you are very humble. You did not mention your degree and why you went in a different direction. I have a degree, for anyone that's wondering, I have a degree in Parks and Recreation, and I wanted to be a summer camp director for a little while, but I had a couple of bad experiences, and it just, actually for summer 2020, I had a really good job lined up, but of course that fell through, and then, I read something online that was like, a job should never cost you your mental health. And I was like, I know working basically 24/7 for the entire summer isn't really good for my health, but like, it's for the kids. And then when I read that, I was like, oh yeah, maybe I am putting too much stress on myself and not doing enough. I mean, I am putting what I thought was, I'm putting too much pressure on myself, and the career in the camp industry isn't really going the direction I want it to. I felt like I was having to just search for a place that I really fit with, and it never really added up to anything. I never found a place that really meshed with me, and I meshed with them. Zay Shay says, how long have you grown your channel? Oh, it's been, I hit make me a channel, the button that says like start channel or whatever, in October of 2020, but I really didn't start uploading stuff until November. because I was like, once I start, I want to be consistent. And since then, I've posted every week except one time, and that was I was actually working at a summer camp in 2021, and I just was really, really busy and thought I would have my van tour done in time, but it wasn't, and I was like, oh, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, so I've been pretty consistent since then. It's been a long time, and definitely been a lot of work put in, but yeah, all worth it to hang out with you guys. Oh, I lost my place. The Tahitian beer has lager, amber, gold, white, IPA beers. Oh, very fancy. Scott Robinson, professional forklift racing sounds so cool, but what did that... Oh, was that when someone asked about what my occupation was? Forklift racing? Yeah, I wish. That would be so fun. Alex says, do you get lonely being alone all the time? Sometimes, yeah, but other times I'm like, man, this is so fun. Especially the time I was in Pennsylvania and I was going down water slides. I was like, man, I am by myself and I'm having the time of my life right now. Of course, then I kind of had a scary moment and was worried about drowning for a second, but we'll just pretend that didn't happen. Night, Roger. Thanks for being here. Alex says it's easy to meet other van people for company. It is if you're not doing what I was doing and trying to be in certain places at certain times. If you can go to like van meetups or conferences, like I went to Tiny Fest Southwest, and I met a bunch of people from that, and it was a bummer because I was like coming back to Kentucky right after that. So yeah, if you go to places like that where people are like trying to meet, then yeah, it's not bad at all. Especially if you look for people that are solo or couples that, or even families really, that want to meet and hang out with other people. So is it easy to meet other people? Yes, but you have to be in the right situation. Hi, Bowie. Deuce, sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. James Gee says, Maddie, who's your favorite van life channel? I guess Cody and Victoria. It's not a solely van life channel, but they live in a van now, I think, or they did for a while, and it's a lot of them like going backpacking, going rock climbing, and it's just so artfully done and peaceful, and not like the typical, oh no, I only have 10% battery on my phone. Even though I charged it before this live, like, that's pretty rude of you, Mr. Phone, but okay, be that way. But we are gonna improvise and just charge my phone, and you'll get to see this half of my room. Wow. Alrighty. So yeah, Cody and Victoria, probably my favorite van life channel. David Cameron says, when was the last time you laughed so hard you cried? Earlier in this live, when we were talking about the what's your favorite movie watching basketball? When I thought that's what you were saying, I laughed so hard I cried right then. Oh my goodness. It feels good to laugh so hard you cry. Time for a Kiss says, will you ever do Twitch since you can live stream there and build an audience there too? See, I don't know, because the main thing I'm passionate about, what I really love, is making videos. And I don't know. This is fun too, chatting with you all. So I don't know, maybe. Would you all come? Although, I did make a Twitch account for a like daily live stream event I was trying to do, and not many people went from YouTube to Twitch. So I don't know. I don't know. Good question. Does anyone have any thoughts on that? Should I stream on Twitch more? Do you prefer me just being on YouTube and you don't have to make another account or something? So, yeah. How do y'all feel about that? Leslie, Alex says, Leslie, nope, eat your heart out. To me, majoring in Parks and Recreation. Eric said, oh, that was also like when I was in college, when Parks and Rec was still on, or like, yeah, I guess it was still on, but I would watch it on like Netflix or something. Anyway, I would watch it sometimes when I was supposed to be doing my homework, and then I was like, well, technically, I'm learning about my field that I'm entering, so it's homework if you really think about it. Homework I wasn't assigned, but I'm working on my career. Eric says, have you ever bought something to make your travels easier that turned out to be a big disappointment? Yeah, definitely. My Jackery that I got to fuel my fridge was way too small. Big mistake on my part, but just like, you know, I was a beginner. How could I know? I had a smoothie cup that you could recharge. That was so handy for a while, but then it stopped working, and then a company actually contacted me. They were like, I guess I didn't buy this, but they were an electronics company, and they were like, hey, here's our products, would you be interested in making a video about any of them? And I was like, oh, you have a blender, I could actually use that, that's awesome. But then those blenders didn't work either, so obviously I didn't make that video because I wouldn't want to tell people about something that was bad. But yeah, I guess I didn't technically buy that, but it definitely did not make my life any easier. Oh, I think oh no, okay. I lost my place in the thing. Dan Powell said, gringos are funny. Good, I'm glad you think so. Wow, did you all just see me zoom in? That was my surprised face. Okay. Gringos are funny. Okay. Rod says, have you ever had a bad experience with another van lifer? Not really. I think some people have like, I've been at a campsite and people have wanted the spot I was at, and I kind of like felt some tension between us, but no one ever said anything to me, so you snooze, you lose, people. Dave Kimmer says, who has the biggest impact on the person you have become? That's a really hard question to answer. Who has the biggest impact on the person you've become? Honestly, I think it's just like, I don't know. All throughout my life, I've thought a lot about what I don't want my life to be like, and what I do want my life to be like. So I think it's just really my own determination to be like, I don't want to get stuck in a job I don't like. I don't want to pass away without seeing the world. And yeah, just kind of been my own need and desire to live an untethered life. James says, are you taking a break from van life, staying with your parents as you train for AT? I'm gonna go into this more in the next video I'm making. Well, actually, no. Just for now, you mean? Yeah, I am taking a break from van life while I am preparing for the HE. Yeah. For now, I don't know if I'll go back to it, not or yet. Tiny Fairy says she likes YouTube over Twitch. Jerry says, we have been loving your videos. Thank you for all the info on the John Muir Trail. Do you have any general advice? Other than what I said in my video about what they don't tell you about hiking the JMT, you know, that's kind of a very dramatic channel or dramatic title. But let's see. Prepare for it to be really hard. If you can get to the area a while in advance to adjust to the elevation, I think that'll be helpful. Expect there to be a lot. When you send yourself resupplies, you don't always need to send yourself single thing you're gonna eat. You can leave out a few like treats and stuff, because there was so much stuff, free stuff in the hiker boxes. That's when people have too much, so say they leave some behind and it's free for anyone to take. And I always had too much for me to take a lot from that, but people would leave like the best stuff and it was so good. But yeah, it's a really great trail. Be prepared for cold, be prepared for rain, but yes, it's gonna be wonderful. I'm excited that you may be going. Alex says, you're cooler than Leslie. Nope, thank you. Time for a Kiss says, Twitch is more interactive, more things you can do there, and have better service, and has a huge audience to capture there. Interesting. That'd be really fun, especially if I could, I don't know, do you think people would be interested enough to just talk to me like we are right now? Because I feel like a lot of people that are in this chat came because, you know, we've virtually gone on trails and road trips together. You know what I mean? So it's interesting. Jose says, I'm on YouTube and I don't get into other social media. I've learned a lot on YouTube. Oh, cool. Okay. Time for a Kiss says, tell us about the farmers markets you visit during your travels. I like Oregon and Washington best. Well, because I was kind of just roaming through and I didn't really have a certain, I never knew where I was going to be. Basically, I think the only farmer's market I went to was in upstate New York, and it was actually more of a craft market. But it was really cool. I couldn't afford anything, and I didn't have space for anything, and I didn't really want anything, but it was cool just because of the vibes. I wondered if people could like recognize that I was just passing through. I wasn't part of the community, but I don't know. Time for a Kiss. Sorry, I read that. Scott Robinson said, I'd love to see you do a video at one of my favorite spots, Chaco Canyon, New Mexico. Well, that sounds awesome. I love New Mexico. Sounds like a really cool place. Chaco Canyon. I'll remember that. Like the shoes. Dave Cameron said, when was the last time you climbed a tree just for fun? Great question. I'm thinking about the trees on my road trip. Definitely there weren't really any good climbing trees out west. Can't really climb live oak trees because there's mites, I think, that live in the Spanish moss. I don't know when the last time I climbed a tree. Good question. Sorry, I don't really know. I am the Martian said, love your channel. Keep doing your thing. Oh, thank you so much. How nice of you. Thank you. Casey says, hi from Savannah. You inspired us to budget travel. Oh, yay. That's so cool. There's a big old world out there, and budget travel is way more possible than people think. I'm so excited that you all are getting to do that. Time for kisses on Twist. It's best to stream and hike/drive travel at the same time, so it's like you're traveling with your audience. So if you wanted to just in chat like this, you can do that too there. Ah, very cool. That would be really interesting. My brother really likes Twitch, and we were talking about one time, what if I could live stream a hike? Oh, that'd be so cool if I could use both cameras, front facing and back facing at the same time, and you would see me and my reaction to, and I'm sorry, you would see me and you would also see the trail at the same time. So if like I turned a curve and it was something really beautiful, you'd see me be like, wow, magical. Dave Cameron says, are you on Instagram? I sure am. Beer and Beautiful Places. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Pinterest, that beer drinking app, Untapped, and Twitch, but I don't really go on there. So far. Not if Time for a Kiss convinces me I might. Dave Cameron says, we have a 500-year-old oak tree here that I would like to climb. Oh, that would be so... Oh, in Charleston, is it Angel Oak? I think I've been there. I love that tree so much. You would definitely not get away with climbing it, though. For anyone that hasn't seen the video I took there, there is like a gate. Oh, Miss Sunshine, thank you so much. So sweet of you. Appreciate that. Thank you. Dave said, yes, it is Angel Oak. Perfect. So if you all picture, there's a fence and a person sitting by the fence from where you park, and then you walk in and there's this tree, and there's this whole bunch of signs that are like, this tree is 400 years old, please do not climb, do not do this, do not do this. And there's also like security guards around, so it's very well protected, which I think is a great thing. I Am the Martian said, do you think having a cat along is feasible in a van life setting and adventure? Yeah, definitely. If you can plan space in your build for a litter box and like cat food and unused litter and supplies like that, I know people definitely do. It would be harder in a smaller setup like I had, but I've seen it done before. And my brother, even when he lived in a van, he had a cat that I don't know how, but he trained it to come back when he whistled. And I'm like, wow, how cool. You know how like you have outdoor cats sometimes? Well, this cat would just know to come back. Miss Sunshine, you are too sweet. Thank you so much. Cheers to you. Hope you're having a lovely evening. Alrighty, well, this has been the funnest live stream. I think this is a record of how long I've streamed before. But let's call it quits when it's been 2 hours. So 2:20, we have approximately 12 minutes left. Oh gosh, it's already past 10. Oh my gosh. Tony Baby says, I think it's not nice for the cat. You mean living in a van? That's interesting. You want to tell us some more about that? Because I feel like a cat would enjoy roaming around. But yeah, I would love to hear what you have to say. If you don't want to elaborate, don't feel pressured. This is a no pressure chat. Dave Cameron says, happy trails to you until next time. Well, we still have 12 minutes to chat. I'm just letting you all know in advance. We better not chat forever and ever, as fun as this is. Painfully Irish says, good night, Maddie. Happy to have caught you. Thank you. Same to you. Always nice to hang out. Oh my goodness, 40 people are here. That's so exciting. So if you all could let me know from the people are here, like, I don't know, are you subscribed? Did you just kind of find this live chat? Oh gosh, and it just dropped to 38. 2 people were like, oh, I don't like being a number here, bye. But yeah, this is really cool. So many people. Do you all subscribe? Are you new here? Do you watch but not say anything? Dave Cameron says, where and when was the most amazing sunset you have ever seen? Well, I feel like there was a section of my documentary where I talk about sunsets and sunrises. I guess my favorite sunset might be, actually, I only filmed this vertically. I didn't film it like in one of my normal videos. But the last short I just posted had this shot in it, but it was a sunset when I was, must have been in Oregon, but it's the Pacific Northwest. You can see, well, I should say you could see like the big rocks out in the ocean with the pine trees growing on them. And it was a highway behind me. I just pulled off because it was close to sunset, and I was like, I bet this will be cool. And it was really majestic. There were birds flying around. There was a little mist sometimes. That was a really cool sunset. Oh, Tony Baby, back to the cat topic, says cats don't get to roam around when they live in a van. So if you let them out, you have to be at a farm or something where you know they'll come back and there won't be many other vehicles. Oh, okay. So whoever was talking about, do you think it would be possible to have a cat in a van? That is something to consider when you would let them out. I know I heard a podcast recently with someone. Oh, they had a, I think they had a backpack, one of those clear backpacks that the cat could ride in when they went hiking, or you could have your cat on a leash if you really wanted to. But I don't know. It's an interesting idea, and I see both sides to it. Tiny Fairy says, hit the like. Thank you. V Shabby J says, I'm following you for the Appalachian Trail. Oh, great. That's so exciting. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. Dave Cameron says, I've been subscribed for a while here on YouTube. Joker says, I saw you on YouTube Shorts and then went to your channel. Oh, good. I have trouble thinking of ideas for shorts, but I like them because I think YouTube shows them to a lot of people that haven't seen my stuff before, and that's kind of a fun way to get my name out there. Get my name in the ring. Throw my hat in the ring. That's the phrase I was going for. Lacey says, recent subscriber, I found your videos as I look into converting my Sienna for camping. I look forward to following your AT adventures too, though. Oh, yay! I'm so glad. And I think the Sienna is the best vehicle to live in, especially if you're living alone. So, great choice. But I'm sure other people that live in other vehicles think theirs is the best too, so who knows? Eric says, I like what you're doing. Look into the Wisconsin waterfalls. Yes, Wisconsin. I love Wisconsin. Let's see. If you didn't know, I went to all the states in the lower 48 recently. In Wisconsin, I went to the North Woods. My aunt actually owns property on one of the private lakes, and that was so nice. It was just the beginning of fall, very peaceful, nice temperatures. Lovely place. Rod says, I've been subscribed since your van build video. Oh, Rod. Thanks for being here for so long. Just Living with Mark said, Tara's AT video. Watched and subscribed most of the 2023 potentials. Oh, that's so cool. There were so many of us. That's awesome. Thank you for doing that. Salik says subscribed and following for the AT adventures. Salik, I think you've been here since longer, because I just announced I was doing the AT within the past couple weeks. I feel like you've been here longer than that. Although I couldn't be thinking of someone else's username that's similar to yours, though. Dave Cameron says, what is something that really annoys you but doesn't bother most people? Oh, man. You know what? The sound of a dog barking, I think, because this morning I took my coffee outside and I was gonna be like, oh, it's a little cold, but not too cold. It's gonna be so nice to enjoy the morning air. And my neighbor's dog kept barking at me. And I was like, how does anyone like stand the sound of dogs barking? Oh my goodness. So yeah, to answer your question, that is what annoys me. Dave Karen says, I'm too cold for shorts right now. Oh, that's funny. If anyone didn't know, I'm talking about YouTube shorts. The not horizontal, but vertically filmed shorter videos where it's just 60 seconds or so. Hackpacker says, oh, Hackpacker, I think I recognize your name from the AT video from Terra Treks. Hackpacker says, Insta360 X3 can record both you and the trailhead at you in a loop. Sometimes something interesting is captured. You can save it in the last few minutes. Oh, cool. That is a great idea. That would be so handy to have for hiking. V. Shiby says, watch it, dogs are my life. I'm sorry, but that's what I mean, that like, it's something that most people, you know, totally cool with. Me, not my jam. So Link says, yes, I've been subscribed for a long time. Enjoy it all. Oh, yay. Thank you. Jose says, I'd rather have the dog bark than growl. That's cool. Tiny Fairy says, and now your neighbors know. Know what? That I'm outside. Jay Boy says, cheers, my dear. Thank you. I'm out of my beer. Well, I think there's a little left. Cheers to you with the last sip of this. Oh no! I said oh no because I thought I was about to break this little tab thing off, and then it like hurts to drink out of, but I didn't break it all the way off, so don't worry, guys. Kelly Wantuck says, barking dogs and leaf blowers are annoying. Oh my gosh, story about leaf blowers. When I worked at a guest house in Australia, this was on an island. About the bark. Oh, yes. But I was working housekeeping at this guest house, and the owner would always tell us to blow off the paths in the place, because it was like, there was like some glamping stuff and like an outdoor kitchen, and it was like a lot of outdoor stuff, and the owner would tell us to blow off the walkway with a leaf blower, and it would be like 9 o'clock and people would still be sleeping, and he'd be like, use the blower. I would be sleeping and he'd be like, use the blower, and I'd be like, people are sleeping, and I don't know. That's just my leaf blower story. Tony says, cheers, everybody! Woohoo! I literally work in a kennel. I'm thinking I'm going deaf from them. Oh man. Well, that's good work you do, working in a kennel. I'm sure they appreciate, or, you know, the dogs and cats, I'm sure, appreciate what you're doing for them. Giving them food and company sometimes. Alrighty, guys. We gotta get off here soon. I gotta go to bed. But if you have any last minute questions, let's say last minute questions, ask away. Kara says, what kind of camera setup will you be bringing on the AT? Great question. I'm using my iPhone 13 Pro. It's the one with 3 lenses. So it's really cool to capture like a landscape or details, or just like talk, and capture something not that far away. But yeah, I was thinking like, am I gonna bring anything else? And no, that's basically it. I own like microphones and a light and a GoPro would be cool so I could film like watery stuff, but I think because of I'm trying to carry as little as possible, it'll just be my phone. And that's how I edit my videos on my phone too. So, an all-in-one package. Good night, Kelly. Thank you for watching. Kara says, awesome. The new iPhones are super great. They really are. I love them so much. Tiny Fear says, bye, Maddie. Good night. This was fun. Thank you. It sure was. Just Living with Mark says, 13 Pro works great for hiking videos. Good. I'm glad you think so. Dave Cameron says, okay, happy trails to you until we meet again. Thank you. My so-called van life said, have a good night. Same to you. And Time for a Kiss says, if you ever meet any of your fans in real life, would you be very friendly, fearful, or diva-like? Definitely not diva-like, because I'm still kind of, it still kind of surprises me that people are that interested. Like, I'm just a person, you know, like, no more interesting than anyone else. But I don't know. I think in some contexts I could be like, if it's night, I would rather you later tell me, hey, I saw you at blah blah blah, instead of coming up to me, because like at night I think I would be kind of like not prepared to talk to anyone. And yeah, especially if I was I think if I was alone, I would be kind of, I'm more on guard when I'm alone. Tony Baby says, Dixie Love Diva, what does that mean? But yeah, I think in the most of the time in the daylight and around other people, I would be very happy to meet any of you. Thank you for asking. Good question. Good night, Jose. Happy trails to you too, V Shy B. Tiny Fear says, if I see you in real life, I'll ask for your autograph. And I'll tell you, I don't even know how to write my name. Okay. Good night, you guys. I appreciate y'all so much for being here. Have a wonderful time. Looking forward to doing this again. Okay. Bye.